Make sure you feel relaxed. And when you feel you're ready, you can open your eyes.
A lot of eyes were opened that November night when Katherine Mahan shared her story, her journey as a transgender woman.
This is nothing I ever thought I would see.
On King 5 News. Melissa Batson watched that story.
All creatures of our God and King.
And I caught it and was really impressed. I really was.
She learned Katherine's path was much like her own.
The surgery isn't going to change how people look at me. I'm still going to be really tall, and I'm still going to be really queer.
Kindred spirits, Melissa thought. And then, a few weeks later, tables turned. Melissa Batson shared her story with us this time. And this time, Katherine Mahan was watching.
So I'm like, yeah, we probably traveled down some of the same tank paths.
Yep. Where do we start? The obvious place? The journey itself.
Before she was Katherine Mahan,
South Prairie Creek was identified a long time ago as a very productive reach for salmon spawning and rearing.
she was Monty Mahan.
Being Monty meant being unhappy.
Before she was Melissa Batson, she was Tom Batson. You were Tom then,
Yes.
not Melissa.
Not Melissa, no.
Being Tom meant being unhappy. Each contemplated suicide.
You said you learned how to tie a noose?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because
I was thinking of hanging myself.
I had tried a couple of times to remove my maleness with like razor blades.
Watching each other's stories, they saw themselves.
Like when Melissa learned this fact about Katherine.
After high school, Monty joined the Army to prove that he could be tough.
And Katherine learned Melissa was in the Army too. Melissa proudly served at Fort Lewis. Here she is, as Tom. Fort Lewis? Wait a minute. That's where Katherine served, too, as a sergeant. Melissa's rank? Second lieutenant in the Army, tank platoon leader. Katherine worked on tanks too.
I was damn good at firing a tank.
So Katherine reached out to Melissa on Facebook telling her good job on the story, telling her when she served at Fort Lewis from 1977 to 1980.
Well, guess what? I think you know where I'm going with this.
Melissa writes back, we were there at the same time, but they never knew each other. Now they do.
Katherine, how you doing? That's so great to see you.
Thanks to those two stories we shared with our viewers.
I got to say, there's one thing I'm jealous about, and that is on the pieces that King 5 did on us. You got more nasty comments than I did.
Yes, one more thing they have in common. Viewer reaction to Katherine's story. I find this story absolutely revolting. Viewer reaction to Melissa's story. Just plain sick.
And the people that are making those comments have never served.
Nasty comments and death threats to Katherine.
You know, death threats has been part of my life. I grade them now.
Do you?
I feel really good about serving the country, and I mean, when people pick at me about being transgender, which happens,
Oh, yes.
I just look at them and it's like, I have done everything this country has asked me to do.
You got to remember that we volunteer at a rate twice that of non-trans population.
And according to the National Center for Transgender Equality,
There are currently over 15,000 transgender persons serving in the military.
they're forbidden to serve openly.
There are currently 134,000 transgender veterans like Kat and I.
The clothes I was wearing when I was off duty did not change the fact that from the moment they sprang a target up, a mile away, I could put an armor-piercing round through it within 4 seconds. Being transgender had nothing to do with that.
I asked them who else they knew in the area.
Hi, I'm Rose Shirley.
I'm Julie Hall.
Barbara Ann Love.
Transgender veterans.
Show of hands, how many of you served in the military?
I'm Judy, and I served from 1953 to 1957.
I'm Stephanie Alvione. I served in the Air Force between 1969 and 1973 as Steve.
As Wayne.
I'd rather not use my real name.
Oh yeah, that old name's dead. It's gone.
Yeah.
Never gonna get used by me again.
And each one of these veterans
I was an officer in the Marines.
served with pride.
I'm an American. I was proud to serve. I always wore the uniform with pride.
They kept it a secret who they were. They had to.
It was my job. It was what I wanted to do. Serve my country. I did it for as long as I could.
Given the chance, I'd do it again, assuming I could, be myself.
It's what they all have in common, that decision they made to be themselves. They know they're not alone in this fight to win over hearts and minds. It's why they're sharing their stories. Our King 5 stories brought Melissa and Katherine together, like I said before, kindred spirits who've already made plans for next time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll get together again, no doubt.
John Sharifi,
No question.
King 5 News.